Welcome to Sage Sisters. We are sisters, besties, moms, and co-founders having a fun catch-up on parenting and life.
Hey, I'm Ann.
And I'm Kate. Welcome to another episode of Sage Sisters. Ann and I just haven't caught up all week. Yeah. We're giggling before we even start this thing.
We're coming in laughing, and we just had a very interesting catch up, and I'm sure some of it will be talked about on this pod.
Oh, man. All right. Why don't you tease the topic and then let's do our catch up because I'm excited.
All right. Well, the topic is not so hysterical. We're laughing. Kind of an interesting segue. But it is a topic that we want to address because we do so much work with Sage Haven, our company. And the whole topic today is, what do we do when kids are mean?
Yeah. Basically,
your kids could be the mean ones or your kids could be on the receiving end, but all things in that kind of circle.
This is just, I don't know, my friend groups and people that have wrote in questions. It's like, if you have kids in elementary school or early middle school, you're dealing with this some way, somehow, right?
Yes.
They're left out. Somebody said something. So this is just one we're going to chat about it. We don't have all the answers, but we're going to chat about it.
Absolutely. So right. I will be glad to get back to that topic, but we'll be a little more lighthearted at the beginning with some of our catch-ups.
That could be, yeah. Okay.
We'll be lighthearted in the topic, but it is a little bit about I have anxiety about kids being mean to my kids or my kids being mean. So it's not all laughs.
Anne has anxiety. What is, I'm so into the new Devil Wears Prada. I'm thinking about it more.
I can't wait for that movie to come out.
But what does she say? She says earth shattering or something, florals for spring.
Yeah.
What's the quote? Now I've got to look it up.
You got to look it up. Take a pause and look it up because Andrea earth shattering. I do think it's like
Is
that.
It? It's not. That's not quite right. But I need this in my repertoire. Groundbreaking. Florals for spring. Groundbreaking. Okay, I gotta get that into my conversation in the next couple weeks.
We could use that for everything. And anxiety. Groundbreaking.
Yeah. Anne's nervous. Groundbreaking.
You have to say it with that accent too.
Obviously. I wish I could do accents better because I don't feel like I'm doing it justice. I'm very, very sorry, Miranda Priestley / Meryl Streep. But
yeah.
All right.
I've always wanted to be an actress. Always thought I could be. And then
you're quite theatrical.
Quite theatrical. But I cannot do accents. It would have to be you have to play a Midwest mom. I'd be like, got it. Is there anything else? You're from New York. I'd be like, nope, I don't have that.
Yeah. Well, God forbid if you try to make me distinguish between an Australian versus different European. Yeah. I mean, I'm I'm out.
Yeah.
Okay.
And for those reasons, I'm out. All right. Let's move to the high because I have a lot to talk about.
You've been coming off a high. Let's hear it.
We just had the Masters week, and my son played at the drive chip putt championship final round Sunday before the Masters.
So cool.
This trip was everything that you could possibly want for your child and us. I'm going to lead with Ace because it's all about him. But what a magical experience. One, if you ever get an opportunity to go to the Masters, it is just, you don't have to be a golf fan to appreciate what a magical moment it is. Mm-hmm. There's so much tradition, the golf course, all of the just everything about it is
the weather looked damn near perfect.
Great weather. It was a little actually chilly on Monday when we went to the practice round, but sweater, my outfit would have looked better had I had the sweater tied around my shoulders. Couldn't do it. It was too cold for that. But it was wonderful.
Did you wear that neon yellow one that's become your whole personality?
So, yes, I was going to say Masters is my whole personality. I've got my light yellow. The light yellow that I have on today is what I wore on Monday.
Now, that's definitely giving more New England Stepford wife Masters.
And I had a darker green dress with cardigan. It. So I looked perfect colors.
Perfect
looked
prepster.
Great. Very preppy. Sunday for the actual event, I had a bright yellow sweater. And
that's
that also, also is in any other time of year, am I tying sweaters around my shoulders? Not really. It's literally all I'm doing right now. I'm just like,
I think I'm going to be tying more sweaters around my shoulders. I like it.
I do too. It's a preppy look, but I'm here for it.
And if it's the right sweater,
yes.
I find it to be more of a style point.
I'm loving it.
Yeah.
You know, and I almost move differently.
Yes.
I almost like turn my head in a smoother, more like, who is she? Regal way.
It's a regal. And to me, it's like this.
Yeah, totally.
Yes. Oh, sweater
She's
wrap.
so demure.
I love how you goofed it.
I can't say that word.
Okay,
Anyways,
so I'm getting the vibe. So back to the event.
They made these kids feel like actual professional golf players. It was the sweetest thing from every detail. They signed them in, like when we checked in to like get our packet for the day, the whole hotel was decked out with decor. Mm-hmm. Everything was about them. They had hundreds of workers. They gave them, they signed the book in just like the actual professional golfers do as they're going into the Masters. Every detail was covered. We had banquets with very important people walking around talking to the kids, making them feel special. They had an after party with like blow ups and things. And, the whole competition there was 10 in each category. So like from 7 to 9-year-old boys, there were 10 that made it to the finals. Mm-hmm. These are the 10 best in the country for skills golf in this competition.
Yeah.
They all should feel special no matter what happened the day of the competition. And my son did great. He ended up getting in 5th place. Mm-hmm. However, to put that in perspective, if he would have drove the ball like 10 yards more or one putt would have been an inch different, he would have podiumed or been 2nd place. It's like a game of inches.
Totally.
And he did not even play his best, and he's 5th in the country, we keep telling him. But for himself, he was a little bit disappointed.
Which I love. And so, how confident are you when you're disappointed with 5th in the country?
100%. And so like we were just like, honey, the whole thing. So one thing that stuck with me is this mom that we were kind of paired with. We were paired with their family. Her son was also in the same category, and he ended up getting last place. But I loved this family. And her son was a little disappointed in the shuttle back, and she looked at him. She goes, "Did you know that the winners get $1 million?" And her son like looked at her like, "What?" And she goes, "No, they don't. They get the same thing that you did. They get the same experience. There's no other level. Yeah. There's not another competition. There's not another golf course they get to go to. They got the exact same treatment as you. You should be happy." Cute. It was really cute. And he kind of perked up and started laughing. And I was like, I'm going to steal that.
That's a good one.
And then second, so Ace, a little disappointed. We're literally telling him like, "You're amazing. This was so cool." Like, literally tears just watching them out there competing at this level. Condoleezza Rice watched them putt and shook all their hands.
I know.
Just to,
I saw that on TV. I was watching
the whole thing. It's on Golf Channel. So, we're walking out. So we get an opportunity to go to the merch the day of Drive Chip Putt, which is a huge deal if you know the Masters, because if you're going even to practice rounds, you're waiting like 90 minutes, if not longer, to get into the merch, and things are kind of picked like the gnomes that are so highly once sought after are all gone.
The gnomes? You just surprised me. What is this?
There's like a gnome. It's literally like a master's gnome, kind of like a garden gnome. But everybody wants this thing, and it's like worth so much money because it's so hard to get. And each year they create a gnome for that year. So we have a few, but it's like a big deal.
And there's gnomes in your yard?
Well, we usually keep them in the house. We're not like during Masters Week. My husband likes to put them outside, but they're like worth like $500 because everybody wants them. They're not. You don't pay $500. They're just worth it because everybody wants them.
What a weird subculture! I didn't know about this weird, expensive. Wait 90 minutes for a gnome. I don't think I need to know any more about it either.
It's pretty awesome though. Tradition. But anyways, so we get to go into the merch area and we're walking out. And Ace is the only kid at the time. They did this for all of the kids that day. Mm-hmm. But we're walking out and every employee turns around, makes a tunnel, and starts clapping for him.
Aww.
He was so uplifted.
Clapped him out.
They clapped him out.
Oh, I love
Dad. Our dad was
out.
There, and he was crying. I was tearing up. It was really a moment in time of just like, it made him feel so special.
You know what I love the most about this Drive Chip Putt? It's free.
Yeah, it's free.
This isn't, in a world of everything is so expensive for sports and it feels like, I don't know, just too much.
Yeah.
They made this competition for kids free. I mean, obviously they want to drum up early enthusiasm for the sport and they want to get you into the Masters Clubhouse so you lose your mind on merch. But like any kid can compete in this. There's something very cool about that.
And I'm telling you, every single kid out there and even kids watching it, what a cool, I mean, they're really doing it well. It was so cool. And the last thing I will say is that my new favorite person on earth is Bryson DeChambeau. He's a professional golfer.
I'm aware.
He was so good with all the kids, but specifically Ace too. I'm talking to him right now. You changed his life.
Aww.
Literally, we're walking and there's a couple kids where we kind of run into him, so it's not a huge crowd. But Ace was a little shyer and a couple of the people kind of go off. And he can see Ace was kind of like behind some of the adults. And he pulls him in and he just starts talking to him one-on-one.
Mm-hmm.
And there's not a lot of people around. This is not like we were attacking him. We just happened to run into him kind of on our way out. And he was like, how'd you do today? And Ace was like, not good. I didn't, kind of disappointed. And Bryson goes, well, how old are you? He goes, I'm 9. He goes, I didn't even start playing till I was 11. You're so ahead of the game. And he was like, I cannot wait to see you at the Masters in a few years, like when you're actually here. And Ace was lit up. Like it was like so special. So I was telling some other people about this. I know I was literally tearing up because it was just what he needed in that moment. Because any parent, he wasn't hearing Phil and I or the grandparents being like, you're great. He needed Bryson to do it. And so it was so special. And then I come to find out that this Bryson, when he was a kid, 11 years old, same thing happened to him. Now I'll post it because I don't remember who the golfer was at the time, but he met somebody who did something similar and he always remembered it. And he said, it literally made me want to be what I am today. And I'll always thank that person. And I felt like we had that moment and it was so cool. So you must be a fan of him, even if you are not today.
Okay.
Go follow him. Love everything he does. He's my new favorite person. He didn't do great in the Masters, unfortunately, but everything he'll do from here on out, he's got fans.
That's cool. Very, very cool. Happy for you guys. I mean, the Masters is a moment. Like even here, I feel like it was a bit of my personality. We watched it all 4 days. I mean, part of it I took last week off. I'm coming off spring break here, but the club that we go to had like a Masters meal, and Chris and I went over there for a date of like pork sliders and egg salad, and it was just pimento cheese sandwiches. It was like very cute.
I love it.
I got new golf shoes. I like can't wait to golf. It unfortunately rained all weekend, but I was like chomping at the bit to get out there.
Yeah.
It's just like it's that time of year too.
I just like watching the professional golfers. It's like my, what they always say is like, my flaw is that I think I can do this now. Like I think I'm a better golfer just having watched golfers this weekend. Totally. I did no training of my own, but I'm like, I'm going to get back out there. I'm good.
Well, I got one of my clubs regripped. Chris and I went to the golf store and I got a club regripped and I got new shoes. So I golfed a week ago Thursday. Again, I thought I would be better than I was, classic. But my feet, it was like a little bit damp and I had just not the right shoes. They weren't like waterproof and my socks were like soaking wet. And I was like, okay, this is kind of miserable. So I told Chris, I'd like to get some waterproof shoes. So ended up buying a new pair of golf shoes and got a new grip. So now I'm basically a pro.
Yeah, of course. It's like the look is half of the battle.
More than half, I think.
Yeah, I agree. Especially in golf because it's such cute outfits. And so, Well, here's to golf becoming my new hobby because I see it for our family playing a lot more golf together too. So I'm excited.
Plus with a kid who loves it, what a fun way to hang out with them.
100%. And the girls like it too. We're signing Lola up for the drive chip putt next year, but she just likes to hit around too. So it's like, this could be really fun for our family.
Love it. I'm into this for you guys. Okay.
All
amazing.
Right. Well, thank you for letting me talk so long about that, but it really was such a special moment and it was just cool. And we haven't even really caught up about it because
I know.
You've been on spring break.
We were breaking.
So is that your high? Tell me your high.
Well, I took a week off work, sort of. No meetings. It helped a ton. You and I had some things come up, so we were chatting and navigating some things. But for the most part, I do feel refreshed. It was a little bit of like a hangover coming off a great week to be like, oh man, got a lot to do this week.
Yeah.
But we didn't really go anywhere. A lot of people were doing these big fancy trips, and we had taken a couple small trips, and we got a couple small trips after this, but Chris and I were both just like no energy to plan something or do that, and he needed to work a bit more than I did. So we ended up taking the kids down to do some day trips. And why don't I do this more? Like, day trips are where it's at. We got up. He's funny because I was like, let's make a weekend of it. And he's like, I really want to sleep in my own bed. Let's just get up early and leave and come back late.
Yeah.
And we went down to Santa Cruz, which is where he grew up.
What are we talking drive time?
1 hour and 20 minutes.
Oh my gosh.
I thought it was
in traffic. It takes an hour and 20 minutes to even get downtown Nashville, and it's 20 minutes away.
I know. In my brain, it was like 2 and change.
Okay.
Like I thought it was more. And then we just timed it well, and there wasn't a lot of traffic, and we just got down there. And I was like embarrassed. I'm like, why don't we do this more? That was crazy easy.
Yeah.
And even the drive was enjoyable. We were playing little games with the kids in the car, and it was lovely. So we got down there in 1:20. We had perfect weather. We were on the beach for 6.5 hours. The kids didn't want to leave even then. We went to Chris's favorite Mexican restaurant, like from growing up, which his mom used to be a waitress at. I mean, how cute.
That's really cute.
And then we came back. And it was like, we were talking like, man, we just had the perfect day. We crushed it.
I mean, one to like go somewhere so special for Chris, and then like share that like Mexican restaurant and all the things.
But I'm like, we should just do this on a Sunday when we don't have anything. We'll just pop down here.
Absolutely.
And my kids are beach kids. They love digging in the sand, jumping in the ocean. I mean, it's their happy
they're
place.
beach kids, which don't need a lot. Like they can just go to the beach and it's lovely.
I took a nap.
Wow. That's crazy.
I will say I had a cold, so not to get into my load too much, but like every time I take a break, my body's like, oh, good. I've been saving up a little bug.
You got time to sleep it off this
week. You got a little time? Yeah, I've been waiting. Here you go.
Yeah.
Here's like a 3-day cold for you. Which I was like, damn it. I wanted a full week of whatever, but maybe it needed to happen.
Now I'm starting to think though, Phil has this annoying thing. Sorry, honey. He has this annoying thing where he thinks that sometimes sickness is mental. So like if I get sick before him, he's like, it's all mental. It's like, and then he gets sick and he's like, it must be a bug. You know? Like,
totally.
But maybe he's right. Maybe he's onto something. You won't mentally let yourself get sick, but then the second you take a break, you're like, all right, here we go.
Here we go. I'm ready. I'm ready for my bug.
You brought it on yourself.
Yep. I'll never take a day off again. It was 3 days. It wasn't terrible. It just was like a little bit of a runny nose. And I was like, just, that exhausted body feeling. I was just like
the worst.
Ugh. But
what a good feeling though, when you don't have anything on the calendar, when you're feeling like that.
I will say I also slept in all week, and boy, do I love sleeping in.
Yeah.
I do not understand these retired people that like get up at the crack of dawn.
What are we talking about here? Because I don't like sleeping in too much.
Oh, I was sleeping in
there's a difference.
8:39.
Oh, okay. That's kind of nice.
It was perfect.
9 kind of makes me feel
lazy.
A little like a little lazy, or like I've missed part of the day, which I never used to have before. I'm kind of mad at myself for feeling that way, because like back in the day,
think it's because you married a morning person.
Yeah, you're right. You're right.
I did not. So Chris and I were both like leisure mornings. I also love reading in bed in the morning. It's the perfect way to start the day for me. So if I got up at 8 just to read for a bit before I got up, what a treat.
Think about how much healthier you would be if you could do that every day.
Oh, this is me in retirement, is I'm going to sleep till, our mom gets up at like 4 to walk in retirement.
She gets up at 4:15 to walk every morning. That's crazy talk. Now,
I
she's
think
crazy.
She'd be like, it's 5:30 now.
Well, she does do it because 2 of her friends, one of them at least, was working. So they do it before the work hours. But
she just obviously, to me,
really
though,
tough.
she doesn't love sleep like I do. That's what I hear when I hear that. It's like, okay, well, you didn't value it the way that I do.
I love sleep, but if I can sleep until 8, that's it for me. That hits. Like at 8 o'clock is like I've had a really wonderful sleep in
8's
morning.
nice. 9's luxurious.
By the way, you're going to be so proud of me. I have been listening to the Audible Project Hail Mary.
I am proud of you.
Aren't
a book.
You? I have a book going. It is being told to me. I'm not reading it, but
whatever.
I'm
No, I count.
it.
I count Audibles as books.
Okay, I'm on chapter like 18 now.
Oh man, it's fun, isn't it? It's pacey.
I'm so into it. So
Good.
Ace and I actually had a wonderful weekend. Not to like, this is a long tangent, but I need to tell you that I'm about this book situation.
Okay.
We had a baseball tournament this weekend, and we divided and conquered. So I took them solo, and I've actually been loving this time. We get into all kinds of good talk in the car, but we were both listening to it together.
Yeah.
And the tournament was like an hour away. So we had quality time listening to it there and back 2 days in a row.
Yeah.
So we were like crushing the book, like loving it. And we started it on our trip back from Augusta. So like it's been nice. So now I'm trying to figure out when during the day I can listen to it and not be in the car, but I'm really into it. Like
it'd be great for a ruck, like you're going for a walk or.
You're right.
I also just find when my mind is listening or if I'm reading, I don't have the brain space to worry about anything else. Like it is true escape time. Yeah. Where TV sometimes isn't because I can scroll my phone at the same time or whatever. Sometimes if I'm into a movie or something, it is.
Yeah.
But casual TV doesn't have that same, like you're taking my full brain and I'm not having to worry about work or think about my logistics as a mom or whatever else.
Yeah, time off to think about something else.
A brain break. Brain break.
I love it.
Well, I'm pumped for you. I like want to do a book club at the end of this.
And I want to watch the movie after I'm finished. So I'm going to try to crush it and like maybe grocery shop and listen to it. Maybe like anytime I'm listening to podcasts, I'll just pivot to this until we're finished. Except for Sage Sisters, obviously.
Well, speaking of content with the kids, I let the kids watch Love on the Spectrum with me.
Oh,
our whole family watched it this week.
That's really sweet.
The new season's out and it's the best content in the world, I think. This could be my obsession easily.
Yeah. I haven't seen the new season, but I'm obsessed with that.
They have a couple new characters that I love, but my kids loved it. And it brought up really great conversations with them. There was only one little talk of like intimacy, sex, and I just booped it forward and it was no big deal. And the rest of it is very like PG.
Yeah.
And they were very into how sweet they were. They were rooting for the characters. I mean, it was lovely. And Chris and I were laughing. It was it was a great co-viewing experience for our family.
I sometimes forget about that show. And then when I watch it, it's so good. Mm-hmm. You just are rooting for them all and all the characters or they're people. All the people are just so lovely. And like, it's just a very... really well done show.
I was tearing up with just you're rooting for them so hard. That's like it's the classic like almost underdog story where it's like you are rooting with your whole heart for them and every win they get feels like yours.
I love that.
The show's so well done.
I mean, Phil and the kids have made me so dang mushy now.
Oh, this is mush central.
Love love. I love watching love. It's like, yes, people find love.
And I thought it was sweet how into it Chris was too. I wasn't sure, but he was loving it. So that was a really fun, at night we'd like watch an episode or two of that over the break. And it was just so sweet.
Okay. Well, I'm going to put that into my future watching soon.
I don't know if you're there yet or if this would not be fun for you, but we took the kids kayaking on Wednesday. We had another day trip to Oakland. We kayaked, and then we let the kids do arcade while Chris and I had a date. And can I just tell you that was also heaven on earth. I had 2 dates with Chris this week. I'm proud of myself.
Good for you. Yeah. You were just talking about how you were behind on that. So I'm glad you put
I kind of caught up and I felt like we got good family time. And
so you're coming back in a good headspace.
Great headspace. I feel
wonderful.
Great. I feel great.
Good.
So my high, just really a wonderful week. I'm glad I took some time off, but day trips, couple dates. I took the kids to the movies. We went to the Cheesecake Factory with some friends.
I love the Cheesecake Factory.
I will say the Mario movie sucks, but
not surprised. Did the kids like it?
They liked it, but even Calvin said it wasn't as good as the first one, and he was like very into Mario. Here's what I'll say. If your sequel involves space, I'm out. Like that plot line, you always are doing too much. There's too much action. It felt like a bad Marvel movie to me.
I mean, coming from Project Hail Mary, I mean, come on, that's your number one book. You can't deal with space?
Sequel. I said sequel. Here's the problem. Mario 1 had a great storyline that made sense.
Yeah.
They didn't know what to do for 2, so they're like, let's take it to outer space. No.
It's like anything else. Moana. Like, Moana took you into a weird underworld. It's like, what is this? Like, this
I didn't even see
sense.
Moana 2, but I'm not into that.
It was terrible.
Mm-hmm. So,
I mean, we still watched it, but it was terrible.
Yeah. Sequels, most sequels are horrible.
Yeah. Disappointing.
Okay. Right. What's your low?
It's the come down.
Mm-hmm.
I had a real sour feeling. I couldn't describe it really, but last week I was just like...
Sour feelings is really actually vivid, and I like it.
Yeah, I was just kind of grumpy. I was back to working.
Mm-hmm.
I had a lot of stuff I had on my list. I was back to just doing the basic stuff of laundry. The mental load of how much soap do we have left? Do I need to buy it? How much, all the stupid stuff that we worry about, to clean my house.
Yeah.
I just was on such a high with such a wonderful trip and feeling like, so we had the best Airbnb. I didn't even say that. Like, all the things of this trip was great. And usually when I am on a trip, no matter how long, I am ready to get home to get in my own space.
You weren't.
For some reason I wasn't. And with it came like the lot of work and personal load.
How much of that was that you were off the grid because you can't have phones there?
I think a lot of it. It was glorious.
Yeah.
For 2 whole days, I didn't have my phone. Like, wonderful.
Mm-hmm.
And like, I just didn't think about anything else. And I knew I had like a lot on my plate when I came home. And I was like, I wanted to do some of this stuff for work. It wasn't like I'm like, not happy with what we're doing. I'm excited about the work stuff, but it was just like not the time. I just wanted more time to just be off grid.
Mm-hmm.
And, Ace was kind of acting out this week a little bit. He actually, the last 2 days has been quite delightful, but like we came back and he was kind of acting a little like an a-hole. And Phil was like, this kid, and I said, you know what it is? Like, brilliant mom moment, aha moment. I was like, he's doing the come down. He was the man for like 2 or 3 days in a row.
He's just a normal
thinking
kid.
He could have a professional golf career. And now he's back. He goes, I just don't want to go to school.
Yeah.
I don't like school, and it's like, you've never really complained about school. It's like, he didn't want to go to school. He didn't want to do chores. We asked him to unload the dishes and he would have thought we were pulling his fingernails off. It was just like,
yes,
I get
he's
it.
not a pro golfer. It's tough.
Yeah, he's like ready to be a pro golfer at 9, and he's like, and for all these reasons, I'm out. I don't want to go to school. And that to really put like, I don't know, it's not icing on the cake. To really put salt in the wound. There it is.
There it is. Boom.
They have testing this week for the state, so it's like, sorry,
sorry,
kid.
Bye.
Sorry, kid.
This morning we had a hard time waking up because this was our first day back, and both my kids were like, they were also sleeping in all week.
Mm-hmm.
It was a brutal awakening for them. Grace is like, oh, do I have to take the bus? I'm like, sure do. She's like, will you pick me up after school? I'm like, sure won't. See ya.
Yeah.
See ya after.
See ya, Tina. Well, one other sad thing I have to mention on here is that Phil's grandmother, sweet Gigi, passed away. And she is a big part of our life, and she was on the decline for some time. And we have flown out there, over the last few years when her health was starting to decline. We've flown out a lot of times to have, goodbyes. And she just, we have so many great memories. That's why I said when she first started to get sick, we kind of thought her time was a little earlier. And we have had so many wonderful memories with her thereafter. But it's never easy. It's never the right time. And I just, we love you, Gigi.
R.I.P. Gigi. Thinking of you and your fam. That's hard.
Mm.
Even though she's been sick, and it's probably, honestly, quality of life was hard at the end.
It really was.
It's still hard. It's still hard. So.
Yeah. Anyways.
All right.
All right.
Well, I have one other low.
Okay.
Did you have spring break if you didn't go to the urgent care?
Oh, no. Oh, yeah.
I think not. Yeah. So first night of spring break, we were at
First night, too. That's brutal.
Friday night. We were at the pool. Well, actually, I wasn't even there yet. So I had dropped the kids off. I forget what I was even doing, work somewhere or the other. And then coming back, and I get a call from my friend that was like, Calvin's bleeding pretty profusely from his face. He's okay. And so I was like, okay, on my way.
You didn't know what happened at the time. You just were.
She said he cut his cheek. And I was like, and she said, so anyways, I got there and he was playing football like on the side of the pool, and like a bad pass happened and he dove into the brick ledge and like cut his cheek right here. And it was just deep enough. Like it was one of these things where I was like, should we or shouldn't we urgent care?
Right.
And luckily there was like
on
a
the face too. It's like,
I know, I didn't want it to scar.
Right.
And there was a doctor there, and I was like, what do you think? It's not obviously like a life-threatening situation here, but like, what do you think? And he was like, I would go in because I bet they'll glue it, and that would like help with the scar. So he and I went to urgent care. I was really proud of him for being a guy that doesn't like a doctor and feels a little bit nervous about stuff. I thought he handled it. He's growing up. This was a moment where I was really proud of the way he handled himself, and it was cute. The doctor came in, he goes, what happened? Cal goes, it was a bad pass.
Well, honestly, hearing the story of like hitting your face against the brick, it's like, my goodness, I'm glad nothing worse happened.
Totally. And I had some amazing friends there that knew how to handle Cal and just did a great job till I got there. So anyways,
man, what a bummer though. And hopefully it heals where there's no issues.
He looked fine. He had like glue on it all week. And then at school, I said, do you want me to get that glue off now that's a week later? And so I took it off, and I'll send you a picture. I think it looks pretty good. Okay, I hope it won't scar. There might be just the slightest little thing for a while, but I bet it won't be a scar that like goes into his adulthood.
Okay, good.
So anyways,
well,
little highs,
you can always have a good story. At
lows.
least that was a good story of like, he actually was catching a football versus, I hit my own face into a table or something that we talked about last week.
Yeah.
Face.
Well, and I took him out for ice cream, and there are these moments where you go, oh, he's growing up. He's, he's able to handle more than he used to in a way that I'm very happy about.
I know that is kind of a cool parenting moment for sure.
All right. Speaking of parenting, let's get into the topic here, which is what to do when kids are mean. And this was a surprise for me, but some of this meanness starts in like kindergarten, first grade. And again, it's like these kids are figuring out friendships for the first time.
Right.
They're figuring out how to joke and tease and their place in the hierarchy of social dynamics and
what's funny and what's not funny. That's a big thing too, is like a lot of times when you hear the story of why a kid was mean, you're like, I think that they thought that might be funny and it's just not, and they'll learn quickly.
Or it was like an internal thought they had that like they didn't know was inappropriate or would hurt feelings. Yeah. So like learning what even hurts feelings, I think, takes time. But it's brutal on all sides. And it's a little bit like, damn it, humanity, like the meanness starts weirdly early.
Let's talk about it from your kid is getting mean messages to them or something mean happening to them first. Because it can be both ways. And as parents, I think we all worry about, I don't want my kid to be the one saying something mean, and I also don't want them to be receiving something mean. So maybe we start on the receiving end. Yeah.
I mean, let's just talk about in real life first, because this is not a issue that's online only.
Well, yeah. That's a whole other
usually
topic.
It starts IRL here, which is, for us, I think with one of my kids, it was first grade, and one, it was kindergarten. Where, a kid in their class said, and at that age, it's so simple. It's usually something about their body, right? You're
Which
too
is
tall,
the worst.
Your haircut's weird, you're chubby, like whatever it is. These are the things, at least like in my sphere of like stories that I've heard from other people. Like the meanness starts about like a physical attribute.
100%. Yep.
And it's like, what do you do? Like, how do you get your kid ready for that? And I don't know, like in my own home, I do feel like the training of like, we never talk about people's bodies.
Yes.
Right. And like,
yeah. And we talk a lot about if you have a question about something being different, you can always come to us as parents and talk about it. But that's not something we talk about outside this home because they're trying to, sometimes it's just them trying to understand why somebody's different, you know? But to your point, I really, the conversation of don't talk about somebody's physical anything should be, no, yeah.
Still, I'm sure every parent has had a similar conversation to that. And still, and it's probably like, I don't know, it's just so ever present in our society. You know, they notice things for the first time. And I don't know. Like I was talking to a friend whose husband is like Hawaiian Asian and her daughter has darker skin than she does. And she was saying that her daughter came home and like was feeling really bad about that. And I was like, what I would give for that olive skin. But like didn't like that difference. Or, you know, we took some heat on how tall we are or I don't know. And it's just like any difference is going to be called out. So it's again, like, how do you prepare your kid for this? And
what do you think? I mean, because we talk a lot about just like, we do a lot of affirmations to like make sure, you know, and affirmations seem repetitive, but I do think they stick. And
do you still do the Snoop Dogg one?
We actually got a Snoop Dogg Tony. They have a Tony now with his affirmations and his whole album. It's really great. But we do kind of our own affirmation and we were doing it daily. I won't say it's daily anymore, but we definitely, you know, Lily just repeated it the other day to me by herself. And I was like, oh, good, it's sticking, you know? And it's just like, you know, a little bit like, you know.
And you actually, like, they actually say these things out loud.
It was kind of like part of our nighttime routine. And again, I'm talking about younger kids too. You know, I still make Ace do it, but I really hit home with Lola and Lily in like the right age bracket there with like 7, 4. But it's like just having them repeat after me, which is like, I am kind, I am nice, I am loved, I am beautiful. You know, all the things you say, whatever you want, but we have kind of a list of 10 that we say. And some of them are a little individualized, slightly different than the other, but they're all the same thing. Meaning I want them to know that they are kind and they are nice and they are beautiful and they are loved and they love themselves. And like the whole point of anything is just to kind of get that stuck in their brain because these things are going to come at them. And I hope that in those moments, they can just remember that like it's nothing, you know, like it's just every day.
And I think we do a lot of pumping up our kids, like even sweet moments at bed. Like, I love how kind you are. I love how, you know what I mean? Like just like,
that's the exact same thing.
It is. Yeah. Just a slightly different version.
Right.
So, I mean, I definitely think that like certain amount of like injecting them with you are all these things to us is certainly like part of it. There is a fine line there between like, too much maybe. Like, I don't want you to be an asshole either and like arrogant. Like, how do I kind of also, I don't know, the beauty one in particular with girls, it's like, I want you to feel beautiful. And I also want that to be the least interesting thing about you. How do I make that true in our society?
That is so important. It's so important because we were just talking about this. As we get older as females, I'm getting more and more confident with myself each year. And I feel like we've always had a good amount of confidence that was instilled in us from our parents. But definitely in my 40s, I am way more confident with who I am as a person and the way I look, even if it's not perfect, than I would have been in my 20s. And with that comes power. And it's like, I want to instill that into our girls and boys. But so much of our society, especially around females, is like, are you pretty or are you not? And if you're pretty, you know, are you smart? And it's like, that's so frustrating. Like, oh, she's smart and pretty. Oh my God. You know, like I hate that is so,
it's so annoying.
It's so annoying. And it's not about beauty. It's about loving yourself no matter what. And we're all different.
I am very cognizant when I see a little girl. It is just, I don't know if it's a societal norm or if it's actually like something innate, but it's so easy to be like, oh my God, she's so cute. She's so pretty.
Right.
And you don't say that with the boys.
No.
I mean, I guess you do sometimes, but it's usually not the first thing. Usually it's like, wow, he's so strong.
Right.
Or wow, look how fast he is. It's something athletic almost, which is like, ew, on both fronts. So I am cognizant when I see a little kid, like I try to basically be like, wow, you're so clever, or some other compliment that's not looks.
Right.
But if you start noticing this, like it's kind of wild actually. So it's like, I know they're getting peppered with this. And to try to have your kid be the one that's like, looks doesn't matter. It's like, get real.
Right.
I think it's also just like reinforcing over and over. Skinny is not better.
Yeah.
Skinny is not healthy. Like society is going to like give you this message a million times to Tuesday, but it's like, it's about fitness. It's about nutrients. It's about strength and health. And like, how do we keep it around that?
Well, when kids, the ever looming middle school, it's like middle school.
It starts way before that.
Oh, I know it does. But middle school is when the kids notoriously start to lose the confidence. So they're hearing the same things, but for something in middle school, it changes to then all of a sudden their confidence is hit by it. Versus now something hits them sometimes, and some kids, it kind of doesn't bother them quite yet.
I will say I saw, and I'll see if I can find it. We can post it in the show notes, but that 9 is the most confident age as a girl. And then it goes downhill, which broke my heart.
Right.
But that is, and I'm seeing this with my almost 10-year-old, but it's like, that's when boys at school ask you what you weigh. That's when you start noticing what popular girls are looking like that are a couple grades older. Like you just become like aware in a different way.
Right.
And then it, naturally is like, okay, well, do I have all these things? Do I have these attributes? And it's like, it's painful.
The comparison game.
Yeah. And I mean, on some, like when we were studying things for Sage Haven, I found it very interesting because child psychologists, experts who study this and study anthropology and like all of the way we are, basically said the same thing, which was right around 9 is when your parents become not the most important people in your life, which is like heartbreak.
Yeah.
But it's an evolutionary thing because now by that age, they have the survival skills. They have the nurturing needed to basically be an independent little person. The next big chapter is for humans is, can you fit into society? And the social dynamics become the most important thing basically from that like 9 to 18 era. It's the next phase. And it makes sense. It's like as you're fumbling through those social interactions, that's when, especially at the beginning of that, I feel like you have all sorts of like trip ups. You're learning. You that I was trying to be funny and it was mean. I know I shouldn't have said that, but I was testing my limit. I wanted to see what I could get away with. It's the first time I have a crush. Like all of this is happening in that same like tween space, which I think is why we see, what might start in first, second, kinder with like a couple mean attribute statements, like amp up big time to, and then the social dynamics are more complex. It's I'm feeling left out. I'm, and we've dealt with a fair number of this and like, I don't know,
100%.
it's been interesting, but I do think I feel some comfort as a mom that like this is evolutionary and them learning to navigate interpersonal dynamics is like how humans have become the ultimate predator. I mean, not to make it like too sciencey, but it's like it is. The fact that humans work together is how we're dominating this world as opposed to a lion. So this skill of being able to work with people and figure out people and like, it is a skill. And if you think of it like a skill, I think for me, it also gives me more grace on the other side of it. Someone says something mean to my kid, I can more easily go to, they don't have that skill yet.
Right.
You know?
Well, Yeah, I know. It's just tricky because it's going to happen no matter what we do as parents. And it's all about
you can't
you can't protect them. So it's trying to build up their confidence with themselves, and the skill sets of working well with others is a really good thing. Like, as you get older in business and whatever you're going to do, working together is super important. But then how do you separate that from like working together and being a lemming? Like, you don't have to be like everybody else to work with them. You know what I mean? And that's the confusion that happens in those early ages where they feel like they all have to be similar and dress the same way and do all the same things. That's not what we're talking about here. It's like getting the skill sets to be able to read social dynamics. So that way, I think that is something that I've always been good at. And I'm trying to give that to my kids because it's like, I'm not telling you to lessen yourself or to be different. I'm just telling you to read the room a little bit, to understand in the current moment if you're not being perceived the like in an okay way, right? Yeah. But I still want you to be your big personality most of the time, right? It's just like a weird thing to
and it's like you want to give them the courage to be different. I think there's a tendency at that age, especially if you think about like middle school, right? Mm-hmm. Like, I don't want to be different in any way, because if I poke my neck up and people are still on the learning curve of like what's okay and not okay to say, I'm going to take some strays. I'm going to get bullied. Somebody's going to say something.
Right.
So to de-risk that, I'm going to literally be like everybody else. I'm going to have no differences that someone can comment on.
Yeah.
Right. And it's like, obviously, oh my God, I'm so sorry. I live in suburbia, but there are 2 tiny little deers outside of my office.
The amount of breaks we take for deer sightings is hilarious.
These are like little spotted fawns. I mean, they're 1.5 feet tall.
I hope they're also going to get along with the other deer.
Good luck out there. Hang in there, deer.
Don't let anybody tell you your spots are too much.
But it's like, how do you raise the kid who is confident enough to poke their head up,
Yes, right.
To say, hey, I am different. And I think there's a lot of role playing. This is a new theory that I have, but I've been trying to like do more. Well, what would you say if somebody says this? Prep, like it's a skill. I'm like teaching a skill,
right.
Well, what do you do if someone says they don't want to hang out with you or you're not invited to their party?
I think role play is huge. And part of the issue with society currently, what we're dealing with, is that the parents are getting too involved too early for every little thing. Now, we all are worried about our kids being bullied. But when you are not talking to your kids and giving them the tools to handle it themselves.
You have a specific situation?
Well, I just think that, I'm a mom, so I'm going to say moms in this situation, but I have had a lot of situations where I have seen the mom jump in to fix the issue between 2 kids versus having their conversation with their kid to have the kid go fix it with the other kid.
Right. Train the trainer.
Yeah. It's like, I want you to still be teaching your kid what to do in that situation, but do not get involved. The parents are getting involved too much. Now, when it hits extreme levels, I am not saying that. I'm not saying if there's severe bullying and it hits a level where parents need to get involved, that's a different conversation. But on a day-to-day, these little things of kids just being mean or trying to figure each other out, help your kid have the skills to go handle it.
Well, and it's actually a good point. What's the difference between meanness and bullying? And we kind of have like researched this and talked about it a bunch, but it's like, for bullying to be present, there needs to be a real power dynamic at play where one group has power and one group does not have power. It's also typically a repeated behavior.
Right.
And to me, if that's the case, if there's a huge power dynamic and it's a repeated behavior, that is time for intervention. And we don't want kids to be like left to bullying and like trying to navigate that on their own. That's a nightmare.
100%.
But you're right that like a lot of parents are calibrating one little mean thing that's said between 2 6-year-olds, and like they're immediately going over the top to the other parents. And I agree. I'm sort of like, no, train the trainer, train your kid, right?
Like,
this is happening.
I'm constantly talking to my daughter about friendships right now. She, and I think we're in a pretty good spot, but there are still times where she comes home. So-and-so said they will never play with me again and blah, 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 blah. Or they said that, whatever.
Yeah.
And so I'm literally trying to
They're so dramatic at that age too. It's so black or white. Yeah.
It's like, I'm trying to teach her to be like, listen, tomorrow you may go in and they won't even remember what they said. But also go up to them and address it. And if you were in the wrong, you say you're sorry for what you did. Maybe you were being too much like, we got to, do it my way versus your way. And they didn't want to play that way. Like, but just address it and then see if you can move on. And like most of the situations happening on a daily basis are that, not the severe bullying.
Totally.
And that's where I get a little frustrated when I hear other, moms getting involved in that, to those little levels. And can we talk about, now that I'm on the mom situation, I'm on a lot of mom group threads because of like very large class group threads all the way down to like, smaller
subgroups,
ones.
Yeah. Teams and.
There is, and I have not been involved in it, but there is, drama that happens on these very large group threads where moms are saying too much or going at each other. It's crazy. I'm like, do you not see that what you're doing on this group thread is also an issue? Like, we're acting like we're the kids fighting with each other. Like, you know what I mean?
It's hard to believe that this needs to be said, but I am going to PSA here, which is if you have beef with a bullying, let's say you have a perceived bullying situation, right? In your head, and you think it's time to step in and it's going above the place where you're going to talk to your kid to like navigate the situation, which does happen.
Yes.
That's not for the group thread. Are you crazy? That is a one-on-one conversation.
Yes,
you either go
absolutely.
if it doesn't feel like a place that's going to be received well on the other end, or if you're uncomfortable going direct to the other parents, then you go to the school administrators. They're trained at this. They will help you navigate the situation. But here's what you don't do. You don't blast the group thread. I can't believe that needs to be said, but I've heard of situations, some recently, and I'm like, oh no. That's
in the
a
history
nightmare.
of time too, not everyone is going to perceive what you say correctly, right? Or the way you want them to.
Yeah.
So like if you address it with a parent, like a bullying situation, let's say another kid was bullying your kid and you addressed it with that parent and they do nothing, it's not a dead end. That's a disappointment. Maybe then you kind of have a conversation with your kid to distance yourself from the kid. And then if that doesn't work, then you can go to the school. But like most of the time, you will get a parent on the other side that's dealing with something that they're like, I'm so sorry. Let me talk to my kid about it. Like most people are reasonable. And I think that most of the non-severe issues can be handled that way. Yeah, that's it.
Yeah.
It's not for anybody else.
And most of the severe issues can't be handled that way. It's sort of a thing. So like if you have a real bullying situation, usually there's something going on in that household.
Totally.
There's a reason that's happening in the first place. You're going to have a completely defensive, non-receptive situation on the other side. That's go to the school administrators.
Yeah.
Right? Stop the situation. Your kid needs help.
Right.
That's when you go to the school administrator. So you have to calibrate the level of severity here.
Right.
But like for a mean comment that came over the bow and they're young enough where the power dynamic is not clear and it's not like a repeatable pattern over and over and over. Reach out to the other mom and say, hey, can we talk about this one-on-one? I might not be getting the whole situation, but this is what I know. I wanted to talk to you to see if we could resolve it. That's your first step. It's not group chat. You crazy?
Well, and flipping gears a little bit to your kid being the one that says something.
Yeah.
What I will say too is we've been on that side as well.
So everybody has.
And most of the time, like it is a defense mechanism. Like in my situation, for sure, one of my kids has a defense mechanism that when they get their feelings hurt, they will lash.
They bite back.
They bite back. And that is perceived as, being mean, and they are being mean. And so the conversation behind the doors is like, trying to figure out how to rewire how they're reacting. And that's not just one conversation, that's many conversations.
Yeah.
And so I do have a lot of empathy on the other side too, which is like when someone's mean to my kid, I think about it like that too. It's not just like one time are they going to say like, well, don't ever say that again, it's mean. It's like they probably are dealing with something like that similar, which is like they're trying to figure themselves out. They're trying to figure out how to, and I don't expect kids on either side to be perfect. You know what I mean? It's like you don't want to be the parent on either side, but we're going to be at some time. And how do we handle it?
Well, to me, You handle it one-on-one. You never
100%.
shame them publicly. So to me, it's like, we're going to talk about this later,
right.
you know?
Yeah.
Then one-on-one, it depends what the infraction is. But if it's a bite back, you know what I mean? To me, you're skill training of how to regulate. Somebody else makes an infraction. How do you regulate? That's a training moment, you know?
100%.
I had a situation where one of my kids said something trying to be funny, did not land. I was appalled in a public setting. I was like, you know, head on a swivel, you know? Later, one-on-one, we had a chat. I do not think that will happen again. You know? So it's like, again, it was a training moment of like, we're testing the humor level. Is this funny? Is this not funny? No. So we got that cleared up. We recalibrated. If I hear it again, we'll have different consequences, but it's like, I won't. I just already know.
And like kids, we always say, like their frontal lobes are not fully developed. You know, it's like
not even close at that. In elementary school, it's just like a hot mess.
100%. So it's like just affirmations, getting your kid as confident as you possibly can and letting them know that you are always there for them no matter what, and to talk with you, keeping an open door to them being able to communicate even at a young age will hopefully grow with you to, you know, it's harder when they're teenagers, but hopefully if they've been doing it their whole lives, it can continue. Talking to your kids about the skill sets and giving them the skill sets is so important.
Skill training. It's skill training.
Skill training.
On both sides.
And then probably educating them like you just did us, like what's the difference between mean and bullying so that they really can
calibrate.
Right.
One thing I will say too, a lot of messaging, online stuff comes into the fray 3rd, 4th, 5th, 6th grade.
Yeah.
And that's all across the country. That's, you know, I always tell parents, you don't need to rush this because it will find you. Like go as slow as you can. If you can get to 5th or 6th grade before messaging is needed in your home, definitely do that.
Yeah.
But this will find you at some point because there are really good reasons people message. We got family logistics. You're trying to give kids more independence. They're ready for it. They're ready for the skill development. So it will come for you. And when it comes, supervising those messages in the first few years is really important. Of course, we built Sage Haven to make that very easy. We're the only app where you can see all the messages from your own phone with AI alerts and recaps, so you don't actually have to read all the messages. And you can make sure they're only chatting with in real life friends, which I think is critical. But even if you're not on Sage Haven, if your kids are on iMessage or Google Messages, which are the most other common ones, Snapchat if they're older, having a social contract to tell your kid, hey, I'm going to supervise in the first few years because I want to make sure you have the skills, right?
Yeah.
And, you know, a lot of parents are grabbing iPads and scrolling back and catching stuff, but just like setting up that social contract with your kid that at least in the first few years. And again, I do not want to create a bunch of helicopter parents of high schoolers. Hopefully they have the skills by then. But this is the train up learning permit moment. You need to be supervising. And again, you're going to see those same infractions that were behind your back or you didn't have visibility to because they happen at school. You will see them. And when you see them, to me, it's like peak skills development moments that you can train them up.
What I have always said about Sage Haven, which is we are not trying to prevent mean things from happening to your kid entirety.
The really serious stuff we are going to
the real serious stuff, yes, of course. But we are not trying to, you know, some people are like, oh, gentle parenting, let them figure it out. It's like, that's not what we're talking about here. We are talking about educated moments so you can understand what's going on to educate them. You know what I mean? And yes, if somebody said something super harmful, it gets blocked and still allows you that moment of education. So
yeah. So anyways, do supervise, do keep an eye on it. Again, it's skill development time and we're needed for that era. And I do think with more parents looking, we'll be able to catch the stuff before it like spirals into these like devastating stories. So, anyways, that's my.
And just know, again, we always talk about this. You are not alone. Every single household is dealing with this issue if you have kids in elementary school and middle school. And again, we're not talking about the super severe. That is a whole different situation. we're all in this together. Talk to your friends, talk to your community, we're all dealing with it. You're not alone in this. And sometimes it feels like it, especially when it's to your kid. It's so sensitive. And I lose sleep all the time with even minor infractions that happen with my own children. And I can hold a grudge forever against people if it's against my kids. You know what I mean?
Totally.
So it's like, but like knowing that like we're all dealing with it makes it seem a little more breathable. It's like, okay, we'll get past this.
I agree. And also, like, if your kid says something harmful, like, coach them early.
Yeah.
Right the ship. Like, they're kids. They're learning.
Mm-hmm.
So, all right. Let's move into a tech tip. I had a little time off last week, and I was feeling anxious from the amount of, I had signed up for like just a boatload of newsletters, and I had content coming at me. And my inbox in particular had become pretty unruly with the amount of things I was consuming on a daily basis.
Mm-hmm.
And I decided, and this is sort of like, I've been like stepping off social media as much as I can. Obviously for our business, we have to do some of it, but like I unsubscribed from hundreds of, some of them were marketing things that I'm like, I don't need this, but like I cleaned up my inbox.
Wow.
I decided no news in my inbox. This is a new thing.
Not even like the skim or something like that.
Unsubscribed.
Wow.
Because I want to consume news in a time and place where I'm ready for it. I don't want it bombarding me. I think this was like part of my overwhelm is like, especially with business. I was on so many business emails and waking up every day to OpenAI did this, and this is how many rounds got done. And like
you did get crazy with newsletters that you even added us both to with these topics of things.
Just, it was too.
I have a lot of updates on AI stuff, and I need to get off.
Yeah, and again, like I'll consume that. I'll go get it, and I have some sources that like I trust for this information when I want it. But I had let it take over.
Yeah.
So unsubscribe. Consume news at a time and place when you're in the right headspace for it. I think this is going to be a big mental upgrade for me. I'm excited.
Yeah.
Okay. What's your obsession?
My obsession is I went makeup shopping to get some of the not new makeup. I went to go get my under eye cover up that I was running out of. And right next to
what are you using again?
I'm using it's Bye Under Eye.
Okay. Yeah,
concealer.
I like that.
I actually like it a lot. Now, next to it, I grabbed this eyeshadow stick from Ilia. And I went with this green, which I've been having a lot of fun with. It matches my eye color, but they also had a purple that's the opposite of my eye color for green, but they had all kinds of colors. So if you want opposite for brown, you probably go blue. You could go green.
Blue eyeshadow. I don't know if I'm ready for that. But
well, I know. I was just thinking opposite because mine is purple. Green eyes go purple. Haven't you ever heard that? What's brown eyes do? Maybe gold.
Don't know.
They had gold. Okay. See, I only know my own coloring. But anyways, this stick has been so much fun. And they had a bunch of different colors. And it's really good. It goes on really like
kinda
smoothly
creamy
and easy, creamy. It's not creasing. And I just add a little bit now. And I feel like it's like game changer.
You know what I do is I do the Rare Beauty blush that I like so much.
Yeah.
I just like put it on my eyelashes. It's kind of the same vibe. Maybe my color is kind of like pinky or something.
Yeah.
But I have a theory. If you have slightly darker eyelids, then your bags don't show as much. I don't know if I'm fooling anybody or not, but
yeah, it's a good.
Have I fooled you?
As long as you think you're fooling people, it's good.
Totally.
I just think eyeshadow's kind of a fun thing to play around with. It's like my makeup is so boring in my 40s. It's like I know what I need to do to make myself look fine, so I do it.
What do you mean boring? You feel like
it's like, oh, I got bags. Let's cover up. Let's do the same blush. Let's do the eye. Like I've got the same brow pen. I'm just doing the stuff to make me look like normal. This is the problem, man.
You were the teen who was doing the crazy colors, the white sparkle.
Remember that gold?
Now it feels boring to you.
White sparkle.
Now it feels boring to you because you were so over the top. For me, I've always been
neutral,
classic. I was going to say, you said, I heard you say boring, but you said neutral. Yeah, it's just like, what's flattering, period. That's it. That's what I'm going with.
That's what I've been doing.
It doesn't need to be new and exciting. It just needs to be.
Unless you're a new Ilya pen, because I'm having fun again. I'm living.
I like Ilya. I love Merit too. I'm like, my
Merit's
version.
good too.
Yeah.
Merit's good too. But I honestly think, like, I don't look good today because I'm a little tired.
Yeah.
But like, if you see this pop of green, it's good.
Okay,
like, I feel like it looks good.
You also have really pretty green eyes, so accentuating that, I feel like, is part of like your how to be the most flattering.
Well, and to be honest with you, the older I get, the more I'm realizing my eyes don't look like they're open in photos. Like, I keep getting all these photos back. I'm like, it looks so cute. Why do I look like my eyes are shut? So I need to just like do some fun things with my eyes to make them feel popped
I like
again.
Okay, my obsession. This is kind of random, but I've been trying to do this plank. I kind of said my annual goal this year is a 3-minute plank.
Yeah.
Side note, I did a 3-minute plank yesterday, so I'm very proud of myself.
Good for you.
Thank you. But one of my friends knew I was doing this and sent me a video of a family who, like, the mom's on the bottom and then it's like kid 1, kid 2 in a 3-level plank.
3-level?
Yeah.
Okay.
Now we started training for our family 3-level plank.
Okay.
Chris is like, I'm out on this. I'm not doing 4 levels. You're crazy. But Grace and I did it, and we just had the most fun time trying to like do these silly little things.
That's hilarious. Did you film this?
I filmed it. I'll send it to you. We were laughing. Well, and then they did a push-up at the end. We couldn't do that, but we were just doing these fun little challenges with your kids is my obsession.
That's actually really cute. A push-up at the end would be hard. That's hard.
I feel like you're going to be able to do it. You always had good upper body strength.
Maybe with Lily. If Ace is on my back, I don't know if I'm doing a push-up.
I bet you could. But Grace and I could not accomplish the push-up. But we were able to pretty easily do the plank. So.
Okay. Well, we'll post you guys doing the plank and then you'll inspire us because that does sound fun. And I do find that when I'm doing something silly with the kids like that, it's like brings the most joy.
It's just a little moment of joy.
I love that.
Where Cal was about to do the 3rd layer and then he got nervous.
Now, that surprises me none. And also top. Yeah, I would be nervous too.
Yeah, I even said this is the hardest spot. I mean, you have the most risk.
Yeah. He already had to go urgent care.
I know. Maybe it's not the right time.
Yeah, he's skittish this week. Well, I have an Instagram account that I follow that is like a fit family that does fun activities, but it's actually getting your kids to be fit in a fun way. Okay. So like they were saying, like, for instance, if your kid still is one of those like belly out walking kids, which maybe all of yours will be because Chris still walks with a belly out.
Yeah.
But they were saying like you do this fun little thing where it's like you have a ball and you kind of like pass it to each other. But the way they were doing it was making their stomachs kind of teaching them how to hold their stomach in. Mm-hmm. And, you know, kids walk like kids. They don't know how to hold their, like they're not holding their stomach and it's like all out. But I actually find that some of the time I get tips from this. Some of them I'm like, I'm never doing that. But other ones are like, okay, that's kind of cute. And then it's like these silly moments you have with the kids where you're teaching them something, but really to them, it's just some silly little thing.
This is like putting a vegetable in a pasta. Get out of here. You don't need to teach them. This is just a moment of joy. This is just a bowl of pasta. Quit trying to self-improve.
Took it too far. Okay.
All right. Well, I think that's a wrap. So if you don't mind and you haven't reviewed us, punch some stars for us. Go back to the App Store where you downloaded us. Scroll down. That would be amazing. Share us with a friend. We're growing quite a bit, so it's pretty exciting week over week over week. So thank you all for sharing and continuing to follow us. We're happy to be here. So that's all I got.
Lilas.
Lilas.